I really need to take a massive breath before we start.
You look like you're actually vibrating.
I am. I am physically vibrating because I need to understand the group chat mechanics of the Bravo universe right now.
Oh, it is completely unhinged.
Like, have we officially reached the era where reality television has just completely, I don't know, merged with true crime?
It's definitely giving true crime at this point.
Right. Because I'm looking at our notes for today, and it genuinely seems like every single celebrity and Bravo star got onto some massive encrypted text thread on Friday at 5 p.m.
Just plotting.
Exactly. Just collectively deciding, you know what, let's absolutely ruin their Monday.
They really did.
Yeah.
They saw us resting, they saw us trying to have a peaceful weekend, and they actively chose violence.
Total violence. We were looking at a weekend that saw divorces broken via the internet, reality stars caught on security cameras. I mean, the absolute destruction of PR.
They completely abandoned their publicists. It's like a 48-hour masterclass in exactly what not to do when you have a platform.
Literally. But you know what? We are caffeinated, we are seated, and we are ready to unpack every single bad decision. Babes, welcome back. If you are new here, hey, hello, welcome, babes. And babes, if you are a returning snarker, thank you for coming back.
Thieves, happy Monday.
Okay, so before we even attempt to dig into this absolute graveyard of celebrity relationships, I have a very important announcement.
Oh, I see them.
Yes, the spiked chocolate caramel milkshakes are officially on deck. And babes, these are absolutely a treat.
They look like architectural marvels, honestly.
I am not playing around today. I have piled the whipped cream so high, it is actually threatening the structural integrity of the glass.
Yeah.
Because, as we know, whipped cream is literally a personality trait.
It is. And honestly, this is exactly what Soft Girl Mondays should look like.
Thank you.
But, you know, looking at this massive milkshake, it really makes me question the entire, sociological logic of modern mealtimes.
Wait, what do you mean?
Well, why do we conform to this rigid idea that dinner have to be, roasted chicken and vegetables?
Yes, exactly. Who dictated that? I am taking a very firm stance right now that a 2,000-calorie spiked milkshake, secretly or actually overtly, counts as a perfectly balanced dinner.
I mean, analytically speaking, you are getting your calcium.
Right. Dairy is protein.
And your carbohydrates for immediate glycogen spike. Plus, the alcohol acts as a necessary central nervous system depressant after the Monday we've just had.
Totally. It has cocoa beans, which are technically a plant, so it's a salad. And frankly, doesn't every single Monday intrinsically deserve a dessert just to survive the start of the week?
If we are forced to participate in capitalism 5 days a week, yes, Monday evening biologically requires a massive influx of sugar.
It's survival of the sweetest.
Yeah.
And considering we both literally just took off our scrubs, we earned this.
We really did.
A quick reminder for everyone listening that while we sit here psychoanalyzing reality stars, we both literally just got off work.
Yes, double life continues.
Yes, we were both fully practicing dentists at entirely different clinics, living absolutely... Hannah Montana lives as gossip queens by night.
Which means it is time for our workplace check-in.
Yes. Let's do our roses and thorns of the day. You want me to go first?
Oh, please go ahead. I can literally see the clinical trauma behind your eyes today.
Okay, so my thorn of the day... Picture the psychology of this. It is 10 in the morning.
The worst time.
We get a new shipment of fluoride varnish, and one of my coworkers, who shall remain nameless, but she operates on pure adrenaline, silently grabs a box.
Oh, no.
So I grab a box, and suddenly, without a single word being spoken, we have initiated this high-stakes, breathless office competition over who can restock the drawers the fastest.
The silent, aggressive restocking. It's the dental clinic version of the Hunger Games.
I was sweating under my PPE. I nearly dropped a mirror. It was so unnecessary, but I just refused to lose.
It's fascinating how high-stress medical environments breed these micro-competitions just to burn off the ambient cortisol.
It really is. I was fighting for my life for zero reward. But my rose of the day completely balanced it out.
Was it sugar-related?
Obviously. Our receptionist brought in these homemade, warm chocolate chip cookies, and I swear to you, the vibe shift in the clinic was instantaneous.
It always is?
It went from tense, sterile healthcare environment to, we are a family and we love each other in exactly 4 seconds.
See, proving your milkshake dinner theory correct right there. Sugar is a behavioral modifier.
It really is. Okay, what about you?
Okay, my rose of the day actually came from a patient. And it was a masterclass in reading the room.
Oh, I love an observant patient.
I was doing a routine filling, and the patient stalked me, literally mumbled through the bite block, to give me a wildly specific compliment on my clinic playlist.
Wait, really? What did they say?
They said, your transition from 2000s R&B into indie pop is genuinely masterful.
Oh my God. That is the ultimate validation.
I felt so perceived.
Curating the dental playlist is a legitimate psychological art form.
It is. You have to thread the needle between not putting them to sleep, but also not making them want to fist pump while you have a high-speed drill in their mouth.
Exactly. It's a delicate balance.
But of course, that high was completely ruined by my thorn.
Let me guess, scheduling.
A complete and utter scheduling disaster at 2:30. We had a double-booked emergency root canal layered right on top of a very demanding new patient consultation.
Oh, the worst overlap possible.
I was doing the mental math of how late I was going to be to record with you, fully spiraling into operational panic.
But you made it.
I was saved by a surprise iced coffee delivery from my assistant at exactly 3 p.m. It resurrected my entire executive function.
Dental assistants are the actual unsung backbone of the healthcare infrastructure. We love them.
We really do.
But, okay, speaking of environments where we have absolutely zero control, I need to pivot to this upcoming weekend because my brain is already short-circuiting.
Oh, God, the ranch.
Yes. Somehow, by the grace of whatever chaotic algorithm controls our lives, the two of us have been invited to spend a night at an actual, literal dude ranch.
I still don't fully understand the mechanics of how this happened to us.
Me neither.
We are indoor cats. We thrive in sterile, air-conditioned environments where all the variables are controlled. And now we are willingly traveling to a location where the primary mode of transportation is a biological entity with a flight response.
I know. I am freaking out about the variables, but I am also, like, emotionally vibrating with the aesthetic possibilities.
I knew you were going to say that.
I have been spiraling on Pinterest for 3 solid hours. I am looking at rhinestones. I'm looking at suede fringe jackets. I am fully embracing the entire coastal cowgirl Yellowstone chic vibe.
It is fascinating how urban millennials are currently fetishizing ranch culture.
It's a look. But I have to ask you, and be honest with the listeners, have either of us ever willingly worn cowboy boots in our entire lives?
Absolutely not. The closest I have ever come to a cowboy boot is a pointy-toed Chelsea boot in late October.
Right.
Let's take a sarcastic, highly analytical approach to these logistics, okay? Because aesthetics are great until you are physically perched on top of the animal.
They're just big dogs.
I need to know, objectively, if horses can actually sense human fear and panic. Because if they possess that biological radar, the horse assigned to me is going to immediately detect a resting heart rate of 120.
We're going to be fine.
It is going to strategically buck me into a pile of hay just to establish dominance.
No, they are majestic, empathetic creatures. You just have to, like, regulate your nervous system and vibe with them.
I do not know how to vibe with a 1,000-pound herbivore. I'm calculating the exact mathematical odds right now of the two of us accidentally going completely viral on TikTok for doing something disastrously wrong.
Oh, my God.
And somehow becoming niche, ironic ranch influencers by next Monday. The odds are currently sitting at roughly 85%.
Honestly, I would embrace the pivot. Give me a brand deal with a saddle company. I don't care.
You would.
But, you know, speaking of TikTok trends that perfectly capture this weird cultural moment, did you see the rich in life trend earlier today?
I did. And I actually really appreciated the underlying psychology of it. Tell everyone how it works.
So the rich in life trend is all about stripping away the, socioeconomic, monetary definition of wealth.
Right.
It's asking you to identify those tiny, hyper-specific, non-monetary moments that make your life feel completely full and luxurious. So we both wrote down our top 3 moments before we started recording.
Yes, we did. And I want to analyze yours first because I already know they are going to be deeply rooted in social connection.
They totally are. Okay, so number 1, group chats that never, ever stop buzzing with drama.
Classic.
Like when you wake up to 47 rapid-fire messages because someone in the friend group did some deep-dive forensic Instagram stalking, that makes me feel incredibly wealthy in community.
It is a very specific type of wealth.
It really is. Okay, number 2. Sunset drives with friends, the windows are completely rolled down, the temperature is at perfect 72 degrees, and you are just aggressively screaming the lyrics to a nostalgic 2010 song.
Very cinematic.
And number 3, laughing so hard your stomach physically aches and your vocal cords literally cannot produce sound anymore. Oh, the silent laugh.
Yes, just that silent, wheezing, breathless laugh, that is pure wealth to me.
Those are highly social, highly emotional data points. It perfectly maps to your extroversion.
Thank you. Let's hear yours, Mr. Analytical.
My top 3 are a little more precise, a little more focused on environmental control. Number 1, finding the absolute perfect, unparalleled front row parking spot on the very first try in a crowded lot.
Oh, that is a pure power trip. It changes your entire posture for the rest of the day.
The dopamine hit of that spatial victory is equivalent to winning the lottery. Number 2, the very first sip of undeniably good, perfectly extracted espresso in a completely quiet room before anyone else in the house is awake.
Just the sensory isolation of it.
Exactly. And number 3, the tactile feeling of sinking deeply into the couch on a Friday night, wrapped in a weighted blanket, fully committing to a weekend-long reality TV marathon with zero guilt and zero plans to perceive the outside world. See, that is the yin and yang of this dynamic. We balance each other's neuroses perfectly. And babes, we definitely aren't rich in money, but we're rich in Snark Squad energy, and honestly, we love you for that.
And speaking of being rich, the weekend gossip drop was absolutely overflowing. So, babes, let's get into it.
Let's get into it, because we need to start with the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills and this absolute destruction of the traditional PR rollout.
It's a mess.
We are looking at Dorit Kemsley and PK. And I am staring at this timeline, and the mechanics of it are making my head spin.
The timeline is wild.
Because Dorit found out that her estranged husband, PK, has a brand new girlfriend, Tatiana Karchalava, at the exact same time the rest of the world did.
Unbelievable.
She found out via the internet. This wasn't a private sit-down. This was a digital ambush.
Is the absolute peak of modern dystopian romance. If we break down the PR shade here, Dorit immediately gave an exclusive interview to the Daily Mail. That in itself is a strategic choice, going straight to the British tabloids to control the narrative. She claims that she and PK were, quote, communicating, and that he had no reason not to tell her.
But then she pivots.
She completely pivots to this incredibly sharp, passive-aggressive analysis of his psychology. She suggests that sometimes people in an acrimonious divorce actually enjoy the element of blindsiding the other person.
Enjoy the element of blindsiding. I mean, that is such a loaded, weaponized phrase.
Highly weaponized.
She isn't just saying he forgot to tell her. She is actively accusing him of purposefully using the press to embarrass her. And they have 2 young kids, Jagger and Phoenix, so she immediately pulls the "we have to protect the children's stability" card.
Which is incredibly valid from a parenting perspective.
Oh, obviously. But from a PR perspective, it is the ultimate way to position yourself as the rational martyr while painting him as the reckless, fame-hungry ex.
Precisely. It's an incredibly effective framing device. But if we connect this to the broader cultural shift, it's like finding out your ex is dating someone new via LinkedIn career update.
Yes. Oh my God, exactly.
It completely removes the humanity from the dissolution of a marriage. You're just scrolling on your phone, and suddenly the algorithm serves you a paparazzi photo of your estranged husband with a new woman he reportedly met through Boy George.
The sheer camp of that sentence aside.
Right, but it shows how these reality stars no longer have private lives. They just have competing content streams.
What really fascinates me, though, is Dorit's overly polite spin in the aftermath.
The cool girl act.
Yes. She told the press that her hope is that she and PK can eventually be great friends, and then she took it a step further and said, if she's lovely, I look forward to meeting her.
So inauthentic.
I need you to explain this to me. Who actually says that? Are you going to invite Tatiana to the next Beverly Beach swimwear launch? It feels so deeply fake. We all know that behind closed doors, she is completely spiraling.
It's the Beverly Hills survival instinct. In that specific zip code, anger is viewed as a loss of control. You smile, you nod, and you plan your revenge via a carefully leaked tabloid story 3 months later.
Oh, 100%.
But what's really interesting here is that Dorit isn't just fighting a multi-front PR war with her current estranged husband. She is simultaneously fighting the ghosts of Beverly Hills past.
The ghosts are back.
Because Camille Grammer has decided that 2026 is the year to drag a decade-old feud out of the grave and parade it around Instagram.
I literally cannot believe we have regressed back to this.
Yeah.
For anyone who doesn't have an encyclopedic knowledge of Bravo lore, 10 years ago, Dorit drunkenly called Camille a stupid C word on camera.
It was iconic, it was horrifying, it was foundational Housewives history.
And now, out of absolutely nowhere, Camille is using Instagram to accuse Dorit of playing the victim in season 9 to deflect from her real-life financial and legal drama.
We have to analyze why reality stars recycle 10-year-old conflicts. The Bravo ecosystem heavily rewards legacy drama over new drama because the audience is already emotionally invested in the lore.
Right, the fans remember everything.
Camille is specifically weaponizing the past, bringing up the Beverly Beach investor lawsuit, where a woman was literally chasing Dorrit around a resort pool asking for her money
I
back.
forgot about that.
She's also bringing up the Lucy apple juice dog adoption scandal. Camille's thesis is basically, you used my drunken reaction to turn me into the villain so the audience would look away from your shady finances and your terrible dog parenting.
And Dorrit's counter strategy was to go to Us Weekly and accuse Camille of beating a dead horse and just being desperate to see her name in a headline.
Which is a valid critique.
Completely valid. Camille is sitting in a mansion, she is bored, and she understands that the easiest way to secure a friend of contract for the next season is to insert herself into the current news cycle of a full-time cast member.
It's a masterclass in parasitical relevance. Camille is attaching herself to Dorrit's current algorithm spike.
Exactly.
But while Dorrit and Camille are playing these highly orchestrated, petty PR games, we are seeing other corners of the Bravo universe pivot into genuinely dark, uninsurable territory.
Yeah, this next part is heavy.
We need to look at what is happening with the Real Housewives of Miami, because the reality TV playbook completely falls apart when the drama enters the legal system.
It is a jarring tonal shift. And just as a quick disclaimer for everyone listening, we are staying completely objective here. We are not taking sides. We are solely analyzing the mechanics of the lawsuit as laid out by the TMZ reporting.
Just the facts of the filing.
Right. But this is incredibly serious. A Jane Doe from London is officially suing Lisa Hochstein's ex-husband, Lenny Hochstein, for sexual battery and intentional infliction of emotional distress.
Let's break down the specific legal claims in these court documents because the details are harrowing. The plaintiff alleges that she was visiting Miami in May of 2025. She claims she met a man at a club who invited her to a private after-party at Lenny's Star Island mansion. But when she arrived, she realized there was no actual party. The lawsuit claims it was a pretext.
And the documents state that she explicitly rejected his advances. She alleges that Lenny, who is a licensed medical doctor, offered her a pill, claiming it was an over-the-counter sleeping aid, specifically melatonin.
Right.
The lawsuit says she trusted him explicitly because of his medical credentials, took the pill, and completely blacked out. The core of the lawsuit states she woke up the next morning, and Lenny revealed to her that they had had sex while she was unconscious.
The plaintiff later conducted her own research and stated in the suit that she believes the pill he gave her was actually Ambien, not melatonin.
Again, these are all alleged claims in an active, ongoing lawsuit, and Lenny has not publicly filed a response yet.
Yes, we are just reporting the claims, but the timing and the legal irony of this are staggering.
The legal whiplash is insane. Lenny is facing this horrifying lawsuit for alleged actions at his mansion, right on the heels of him successfully getting his ex-wife Lisa and her ex-boyfriend Jody Glidden arrested for allegedly spying on him.
They are literally in a pretrial diversion program right now.
Yes. For placing a listening device in his car. The Hochstein divorce has completely transcended reality TV mess. It is a full-blown, multi-jurisdictional true crime saga.
It raises a massive existential question for production companies and the reality TV ecosystem at large. We originally tuned into these shows for the aspirational lifestyle porn and the petty dinner party arguments.
Who sat where? Who didn't invite who?
Exactly. But increasingly, the cast members, particularly the men of Bravo, are bringing incredibly dark, legally actionable, real-world consequences to the table. How do insurance companies even underwrite these productions anymore when the locations are active crime scenes or the subjects of intense litigation?
They can't. The liability is astronomical, and this perfectly bridges us into the broader conversation about male accountability on Bravo. Because if we want to talk about modern-day messy men trying to navigate PR crises, we have to look at the Summer House cast.
The men on that show are on a perpetual, exhausting apology tour.
Let's talk about the F-Boy apology tour, starting with Wes Wilson, because I was screaming at my television during the Season 10 reunion.
It was a fascinating study in dismantling an avoidant personality. Newbie Dara Levitan completely deconstructed West's entire operational playbook on national television.
It was a surgical, psychological takedown. She looked him dead in the eye and said, quote, "The biggest pattern in his life is that it is the West show, wanting someone who will mold and fold and fit into his life without excuse or complaint."
Mold and fold.
Mold and fold. I need that embroidered on a pillow immediately.
It is a brilliant distillation of a very specific type of modern dating dynamic. It perfectly encapsulates the charming, emotionally unavailable man who wants all the domestic and emotional benefits of a committed relationship, but refuses to make a single lifestyle compromise.
Oh, perfectly said.
But what's truly fascinating from a PR perspective is how West reacted after the reunion aired. He went on his Show Me Something podcast and executed a complete capitulation strategy.
Right. He surrendered.
He stated that he thinks about Dara's comments every effing day and openly admitted that she completely cooked him.
Okay, this is exactly where I need your analytical brain because I am deeply skeptical of this.
Why?
When a reality TV man goes on a podcast and does the whole, wow, she really called me out, I've dated casually and I've hurt people, I'm a work in progress routine, does that indicate genuine neurological and emotional growth?
Absolutely not.
Or is this just highly calculated self-preservation PR? Because he watched the audience completely turn on him after the Amanda Batula timeline mess, and he knows his job is in jeopardy.
It is almost entirely crisis management PR.
Reality stars are hyper-vigilant about their audience reception. West understands that his personal brand plummeted from lovable golden retriever to manipulative F-boy in the span of roughly 3 episodes.
It was a fast fall.
By falling on his sword and publicly agreeing with his harshest critic, he instantly diffuses the audience's anger. It's a foundational PR tactic. You cannot stay mad at a public figure who loudly agrees with your criticism of them. Owning the flaw accelerates the forgiveness cycle. It's the I'm a work in progress defense, and it is bulletproof. He gets to look self-aware without actually having to change his behavior.
Exactly.
But West isn't the only one utilizing the apology tour, except some people are flat out rejecting the apologies. Let's look at the mechanics of this bizarre crossover feud between former New Jersey star Jen Fessler and Summer House's Ciara Miller.
This feud is a perfect example of how different tiers of reality fame operate. The inciting incident was a rumor that Ciara allegedly suggested on camera that Jen slept with Wes Wilson.
Which is a wild rumor.
Jen immediately launched a press tour denying it, anchoring her defense in her marriage. Now, Jen is publicly claiming that West has called her and apologized profusely to her, her husband, and her kids for his role in the rumor.
Right.
But Ciara has offered absolute radio silence. No phone call, no text, no public statement.
And Jen is visibly furious about being ignored. But this is where the PR strategy gets messy, because Jen gives this exclusive interview to Us Weekly to complain about not getting an apology.
Make it make sense.
And in the very same interview, she says, but who cares at this point? It's so stupid and not true. If you truly don't care, and if it's truly stupid, why are your reps coordinating an interview with a national magazine to discuss it?
It's the ingrained housewife instinct. The cardinal rule of the Housewives franchise is that you never, ever let a feud die if it can keep your name in the SEO rankings.
That's true.
But if we analyze Ciara's silence, it is the ultimate power move. Ciara is currently hosting Love Island After Sun. She's reportedly heading into the Dancing with the Stars ecosystem. She's securing mainstream hosting gigs.
She is booked and busy.
She is operating on an entirely different career trajectory. Engaging with a former housewife over a baseless rumor only drags her brand backward. Silence is how she communicates her elevated status.
She is unbothered. I respect the boundary setting. But speaking of summer house men who possess absolutely zero boundaries and zero impulse control, we have to look at the king of the mess, Kyle Cook. I am spiraling over the algorithmic manipulation regarding his new single life post-Amanda split. The insiders are leaking to the press that Kyle is hooking up with Southern Charm's Sally Carson.
The Bravo universe operates like a deeply incestuous closed-loop ecosystem.
It really does. They were spotted in Charleston at a bar, flanked by Craig Conover and Austin Kroll. The leaked reports claim they had a lot of chemistry and left together.
But Kyle isn't just cross-pollinating within the Bravo talent pool. He's fully embracing the chaotic, unregulated global single market.
Did you see the video from his DJ set in Delaware?
I unfortunately did.
He is in the DJ booth, playing to a crowd, and this blonde fan leans over the equipment, whispers in his ear. He clearly mouths, "Give me a kiss," and they just start aggressively making out over the turntable.
Over the turntable.
He is a 40-something-year-old CEO, newly separated, and he is operating with the exact psychological profile of a frat boy on spring break.
It is profound psychological regression. But from a behavioral standpoint, it's entirely predictable. He was tethered to a highly scrutinized, incredibly fraught relationship for years on national television.
Yeah, that pressure cooker.
The sudden removal of that structure results in this manic, uncalibrated behavior.
Yeah.
However, what I find infinitely more concerning than his dating life is his deeply manipulative, rage bait marketing strategy regarding his beverage company, Loverboy.
Oh my God, I was so incredibly angry about this. Okay, let me lay out the timeline for everyone. Kyle posts a very somber video on X.
Very dramatic lighting.
He states that Loverboy is on the financial brink of disaster. He looks exhausted. He says growth looks different for everyone and teases that he has huge news. Everyone, myself included, immediately jumped to the conclusion that the divorce had completely bankrupted him and he was being forced to liquidate the company.
He deliberately primed the audience with his actual real-life trauma. He weaponized the parasocial relationship the audience has with his marital separation to manufacture algorithmic anxiety.
Yeah.
He knew exactly what narrative the audience would project onto that video. And what was the actual conversion point of this funnel?
It was a sponsored ad. It was literally a B2B tech brand deal for HubSpot AEO. He pivoted the video to claim that HubSpot's AI search optimization tools cleaned up the search results for Loverboy and saved the company.
That's so bleak.
The absolute sociopathic audacity to use your impending divorce and the threat of financial ruin as a hook to sell business software
Is the darkest evolution of influencer marketing. It leverages negative emotional triggers, worry, pity, schadenfreude, because the data shows that negative valence drives higher engagement rates than positive announcements.
It worked, but at what cost?
He converted his personal life tragedy into a high CPM tech endorsement. It's ethically bankrupt, but from a purely metric-driven standpoint, it was wildly successful.
He secured the bag by giving his fans a mild heart attack. And speaking of repairing his corporate image, Kyle is also aggressively healing old wounds to consolidate his power. He and Craig Conover officially ended their Sprit Society versus Loverboy corporate feud that started way back in 2024.
The consolidation of the Bravo beverage empires. Kyle posted a photo of them laughing in South Carolina, captioned, "So what?" explicitly cross-promoting Craig's Sewing Down South business. It's a strategic alliance.
Pure synergy.
But if we want to talk about people who have absolutely no strategic foresight, we need to shift our focus from the calculated PR-approved machinations of Summer House to the raw, unfiltered, police-involving chaos of Love Island.
The tonal shift between Bravo's calculated PR and Love Island's absolute feral energy is giving me whiplash.
It's a different world.
We have to dissect the Huda Mustafa situation from Love Island, USA. This is a tangled web of terrible decision-making. We have a love triangle. Huda, her ex-boyfriend Louis Russell, and Louis's girlfriend and the mother of his child, Nicole Oliveira.
Let's lay out the timeline based on the legal documents obtained by TMZ.
Okay.
Back in February 2026, Nicole was granted a temporary restraining order against Huda.
Okay.
The basis of the order was Nicole's claim that Huda attempted to break into her Los Angeles residence. Huda vehemently denied this on social media, utilizing the classic influencer defense of, "I'm letting my legal team handle this false narrative."
Right, the typical denial.
When the court date arrived, neither party showed up, the restraining order was dissolved, and it appeared to be an empty threat.
But the internet never forgets, and TMZ just acquired and published the actual surveillance footage.
The footage is damning.
And the video is astounding. It literally shows Huda casually strolling through Nicole's gated apartment complex, looking down at her phone. She wasn't wearing a disguise. She wasn't doing a stealthy ninja roll to avoid the cameras. She was just wandering around the corridors like she was looking for an Airbnb lockbox.
This is exactly what I mean when I talk about the psychological delusion of reality TV fame. There's a complete lack of spatial and digital awareness.
She just walked right in.
We live in a modern panopticon. Every hallway, every doorbell, every intersection is equipped with high-definition surveillance. Did she genuinely believe she could breach a gated complex belonging to her boyfriend's child's mother and not generate a digital footprint?
It's just wild to me.
The arrogance of minor celebrity convinces these people that the rules of the physical world no longer apply to them.
It's so deeply embarrassing. And the fallout is that Huda and Louis have now officially split. Louis is dropping ongoing custody battles. It's a structural collapse of all their lives.
Truly a mess.
But keeping the Love Island analysis going, we have an interesting case study in bodily autonomy and public perception with Season 7's Iris Kendall. The internet has been relentlessly analyzing her face, claiming she got a complete face transplant post-filming.
The internet operates on the assumption that any slight deviation in a public figure's appearance is the result of massive structural intervention.
Oh.
Iris finally utilized TikTok to directly address the speculation. She firmly denied the allegations of a chin implant, jaw filler, or preventative Botox.
Okay, so she denied it.
Yes, she even physically manipulated her facial muscles on camera to demonstrate the presence of natural wrinkles, disproving the neurotoxin rumors.
But she didn't just deny things. She was actually incredibly transparent about what she did do. She admitted that the only procedures she had were dissolving the terrible lip filler she had before the show, which she openly agreed looked awful, and getting a breast augmentation.
Right.
I actually profoundly respect the honesty. Just claim the boob job, admit the old filler migrated, and move on. It disarms the trolls immediately.
It's the ultimate diffusion tactic. Absolute transparency leaves no room for speculative gossip. But while Iris is managing her image with honesty, we have Season 8's Bryce Alakai-Detloff attempting to manufacture a deeply bizarre victim narrative.
Oh my gosh, Bryce?
This might be the most absurd psychological framing we've seen all week.
I rolled my eyes so hard I saw my own optic nerve. Bryce is sitting down with his partner, Trinity Tatum, gearing up to reveal his deeply painful, formative childhood trauma.
The big reveal.
And what is this dark secret? He solemnly claims that he was brutally bullied in middle school by the other boys, simply because he looked too much like a girl, and all the girls liked him too much.
The horror.
His thesis is that the other 13-year-olds were just aggressively jealous because his bone structure was simply too elite.
Let's unpack the pathology of framing, being too conventionally attractive, as a traumatic deficit.
Please do.
It is a very specific, highly weaponized brand of narcissism disguised as vulnerability. He is attempting to cash in on the cultural currency of trauma without having actually experienced systemic marginalization.
Exactly.
It's the reality TV equivalent of going into a corporate job interview and saying, my biggest weakness is that I care too much and work too hard.
Yes. It's an ego trip wrapped in a trauma blanket. It's completely unendearing. Also, I have to mention this because the timeline is flooded with it. The entire internet has collectively agreed that Bryce looks exactly like the political commentator Charlie Kirk.
The resemblance is uncanny.
It's just a fascinating visual comparison that completely undercuts his entire "I was too beautiful for middle school" narrative.
It really does.
Also, while we are auditing Love Island, a quick honorable mention to Gabriel Vasconcelos, who casually dropped during a group game that he, at 26 years old, slept with a 50-year-old woman, noting she had a lot of experience. Just absolute unprompted chaos.
A brief moment of levity before we dive back into the trenches of Bravo later disputes.
Yeah.
Because the underlying economy of reality television is shifting dramatically, and we are seeing massive casting shakeups on the East Coast.
Yes, let's head back east.
Let's look at the Real Housewives of New Jersey and the newly minted Real Housewives of Rhode Island.
The word on the street is that Dolores Catania is facing an existential crisis while filming New Jersey Season 15.
Her whole brand is in jeopardy.
Right. For her entire tenure on the show, her primary narrative utility has been playing the neutral, Switzerland-esque peacemaker between Teresa Giudice and Melissa Gorga.
She was the bridge.
But now that Teresa and Melissa have miraculously established a truce, Dolores is completely adrift. She has no plot, no conflict, and no utility to the producers.
It perfectly illustrates the inherent danger of building your entire professional brand on mitigating other people's conflicts. You become a structural necessity during wartime, but the moment a peace treaty is signed, you are rendered entirely obsolete.
That is so true.
If you don't have your own intrinsic storyline, your contract is always at the mercy of your castmates' moods. And we are already seeing the financial fallout for her. Reports indicate Dolores was unceremoniously dropped from Real Housewives of Rhode Island Season 2.
She was brought into Rhode Island Season 1 as a friend of, just to lend some established Bravo credibility to a brand new cast, but they didn't even invite her to the Season 1 reunion.
Ouch.
That is the ultimate producer insult.
It's a ruthless industry. But to be fair to production, Dolores didn't participate in the core conflicts of Rhode Island. And the core conflicts were intense, specifically the dynamic between Liz McGraw and Alicia Carmody.
Let's analyze this fight because the mechanics of it are wild. Alicia Carmody opened up on camera about her history of being homeless as a child after her father abandoned the family.
A very vulnerable moment.
And Liz McGraw immediately, to her face, invalidated that claim. Liz told her she wasn't actually homeless because she was wearing designer brands like Chanel and had the safety net of extended family support.
Wow.
To gatekeep someone else's childhood trauma on national television is a massive escalation.
It's deeply rooted in class anxiety and the policing of poverty aesthetics. Liz went on Watch What Happens Live to defend her actions, and her justification was fascinatingly convoluted.
How did she even defend that?
She claimed her comment was a knee-jerk reaction intended to protect Alicia from local backlash. Her argument was that she didn't want the Rhode Island locals calling Alicia a liar for claiming poverty while possessing luxury goods.
The mental gymnastics of that defense. I decided to brutally invalidate your childhood trauma on national television to protect you from the possibility of other people invalidating your trauma.
It is completely circular logic.
It makes no sense, but Liz did confirm that the upcoming Rhode Island reunion is going to be brutal and wild, which, based on this dynamic, I completely believe.
It will be a bloodbath. But before we leave the Housewives cinematic universe, we have two quick updates on the shifting labor market of Bravo.
Who are we checking in on?
First, Danielle Staub, the foundational villain of New Jersey, went on the Legally Golf podcast and explicitly laid out her terms for returning to the network.
Wait, her terms?
She said she would only return to New Jersey if Teresa Giudice personally initiated the phone call. And even then, she would only accept a front of contract because she doesn't have the emotional bandwidth for a full-time diamond anymore.
Danielle Staub is publicly negotiating via podcasts. She is waiting by the phone, attempting to manifest a paycheck while retaining the illusion of control. Meanwhile, over in Atlanta, Drew Sidora is experiencing a completely different type of conflict resolution failure. She went on Watch What Happens Live and admitted she has absolutely no conceptual understanding of why K. Michelle is feuding with her.
It is the most delightfully absurd, low-stakes feud on the network.
Drew explained that she attempted to have a mediated sit-down lunch with K. Michelle and Shamea Morton to unpack the tension. But the lunch devolved so rapidly and the energy got so erratic that K. Michelle literally sprinted out of the restaurant and abandoned her Chanel bag in the booth.
Unbelievable.
I need you to understand the level of panic required to abandon thousands of dollars of quilted leather at a Panera Bread or wherever they were filming.
Leaving a luxury asset behind is the ultimate behavioral indicator of a pure flight response.
Totally.
Also, on a completely different note regarding Drew, she proudly debuted her post-op liposuction results on Instagram this week. She was incredibly transparent, noting she was still in the swelling phase, but wanted to document the actual physical reality of the recovery.
I genuinely appreciate the transparency. It breaks the illusion of effortless perfection. Okay, take a deep breath, take a sip of your wildly caloric milkshake, because we are transitioning out of the chaos and into the good news and real talk wrap-up.
We need a palate cleanser.
We need to ground ourselves with some genuine industry insight and heartwarming updates.
Let's examine the mechanics of reality TV casting through the lens of Andy Cohen. He recently participated in a Q&A at the Newport Beach TV Festival, and an audience member asked him a very direct, highly relevant question about the prospect of casting a transgender housewife.
Yes, and I thought his response was incredibly revealing about how Bravo engineers these shows.
What did he say?
Andy explicitly stated that he refuses to cast a trans woman simply to fulfill a diversity quota or to act as a PR stunt. He said the integration has to be completely organic.
That makes sense.
The trans woman would need to already possess genuine pre-existing friendships with the current cast members for it to work on screen.
It's an acknowledgement of the audience's psychological sophistication. The viewing public has become hyper-literate in the language of reality television.
They see right through the producer setups.
Exactly. The moment production forces a stranger into a tightly knit social ecosystem purely to generate a comical storyline, the audience detects the friction. It breaks the fourth wall of authenticity, and the show begins to feel like a scripted soap opera, rather than a documentary of a social circle.
Right.
Andy also revealed a fascinating historical footnote during this panel regarding the early development of New Jersey.
Oh, right. He confirmed that during the inception of New Jersey, the network strongly considered casting Caroline and Dina Manzo's gay brother, Jaime Larita, as a full-time Apple Holding cast member.
I didn't know that.
But they ultimately pivoted, deciding that the entire structural integrity of the Housewives brand relies on exploring the highly specific, often toxic, but deeply compelling dynamics between women.
It was a crucial branding decision that defined the next 2 decades of the network. Speaking of defining personal moments, we also saw Andy confirm on his SiriusXM radio show that he has entered a serious relationship.
Oh, good for him.
He is dating Kevin Sobieski, a Harvard-educated businessman. Andy detailed how they met organically at a 4th of July party last year, The strategic, slow process of integrating Kevin into the lives of his children, Ben and Lucy, and Andy actually used the phrase, "I love him."
It is so genuinely nice to see the man who orchestrates all of this national chaos find a pocket of stable domestic peace.
It really is.
And I want to keep that wholesome momentum going with an incredibly touching story emerging from the Dancing with the Stars tour. Pro dancer Ezra Sosa gave an interview to E! News that absolutely broke my heart and put everything into perspective.
Ezra discussed his upbringing in a highly conservative Mormon environment in Utah. He described living deeply closeted, managing constant internalized terror, and explained how the physical space of the dance studio became his sole psychological sanctuary.
He literally credited dance with his survival, saying it was the only avenue where he could safely express his identity.
Wow.
And now, as a full-time professional on national television, he talked about the profound full-circle moment of looking out into the audience on tour and seeing young, queer kids holding up signs for him. It's the ultimate proof that visibility can literally save lives.
It demonstrates the immense power of representation, particularly for youth trapped in ideologically rigid environments. And remaining within the Dancing with the Stars universe, we received a phenomenal medical update regarding Derek Hughes' wife, Haley Erbert.
It is nothing short of a medical miracle. Just 2 years ago, right in the middle of the Symphony of Dance tour, Haley suffered a catastrophic brain bleed.
It was terrifying.
She was rushed into emergency cranial surgery, and the prognosis was terrifyingly uncertain. But she just walked the red carpet at the Tribeca Film Festival, spoke to E! News, and confirmed she is feeling really strong, really healthy, and is entirely focused on the joy of raising their daughter, Everly.
It is the ultimate reality check. It radically contextualizes the petty manufactured drama we spend so much time analyzing. We just have a few rapid-fire updates to clear the board before we ask for your opinions. Give us the quick hits.
All right, rapid fire. Over in the Valley ecosystem, Brandon Hansen is forcefully pushing back against the internet, labeling him a deadbeat.
Good for him.
He clarified the financial dynamics between him and his ex, Brittany Cartwright. He stated that Brittany explicitly offered to financially compensate him for taking a leave of absence from his full-time job in Paso Robles to act as her primary caregiver following her surgery.
That's a huge commitment.
He used those funds to pay his rent and feed his children. His defense was simply, why would I turn that down? And honestly, the logic is sound.
It is entirely logically sound. It was a negotiated transaction of care. Next, regarding In the City, Danielle Oliveira utilized an Us Weekly interview to categorically deny the other woman narrative being pushed by her castmates.
Oh, she shut that down.
Whitney and Kenny heavily implied on camera that there was a temporal overlap between Danielle's romance with Eoin Heavy and the dissolution of his marriage. Danielle firmly stated there was zero overlap, no infidelity, and publicly lambasted her co-stars for attempting to engineer a homewrecker storyline at her expense.
And finally, a massive career pivot. Whitney Leavitt used the Tonys red carpet to announce that she is officially exiting the Hulu juggernaut Secret Lives of Mormon Wives.
Big move.
But she isn't retreating. She and her husband Connor have launched their own production company and are currently pitching a new, unscripted series centered entirely around their nuclear family. She extracted the maximum value from the mom talk drama, escaped the toxic group dynamic, and elevated herself to an executive producer role.
She understood the assignment. She maximized the algorithmic spike of her 15 minutes of fame and immediately pivoted into ownership. You have to respect the sheer capitalistic hustle of it.
Which brings us to the end of our syllabus, and it is time to turn the microphone over to the people driving the algorithm. You know we need your takes on all of this. We have questions for you, so get in the comments right now. Number 1, what makes them feel rich in life? I want to read all of your highly specific, non-monetary luxuries.
I want details.
And number 2, would they survive a dude ranch weekend? Be completely honest with yourselves. Could you actually handle the horses and the fringe aesthetics in reality?
Number 3, are milkshakes an acceptable Monday dinner? I expect peer-reviewed analytical essays defending this dietary thesis.
Yes.
And number 4, which gossip story had them spiraling the most? Was it the digital cruelty of Dorit's internet discovery or the sheer unhinged regression of Kyle Cook's DJ booth makeout?
I am going to be obsessively refreshing the comments. Babes, earnestly, thank you so much for spending your Monday listening, hanging out with us, and unpacking this absolute mountain of mess. It means the world.
It really does. Please remember to like, comment, subscribe, and, this is crucial to the algorithm, share the episode with another snarker. Spread the chaos. But before we let you go, I want to leave you with one final structural thought regarding the future of this medium.
Ooh, hit us with the thesis.
We spent this entire time analyzing Bravo legends like Dolores Catania, getting iced out of contracts because they're too peaceful, and OGs like Danielle Staub waiting by the phone for relevance.
Right.
It raises a terrifying industry question. Are we witnessing the final days of the carefully curated, PR-managed career reality star? Its audiences demand increasingly raw, unhinged, and legally actionable authenticity. How long until the insurance companies refuse to underwrite these productions entirely?
Oh, wow.
Is the era of aspirational lifestyle television officially dead, permanently replaced by the true crime reality star whose drama plays out in criminal court rather than at a dinner party? Think
Well,
about it.
oh my God. The liability is going to destroy the genre. What a dark, fascinating reality check. Okay, babes, stay messy, stay grateful, and we'll see you on the snark side.
Stay messy, stay grateful, and we'll see you on the snark side.